So a few days ago, Ubisoft gave a blog post giving an update to the Rainbow Six Siege community. And a lot of this was talking about cheating, balancing, and the lack of balancing we've been having, as well as improvements coming to rank to help fix some of the issues which people have with rank 2.0. But prior to this blog post going live, myself and a bunch of other creators were given an opportunity to sit on a call with some of the Siege team and ask whatever we wanted to ask and raise our concerns and just allow for our voices to be heard. That's why it's important to comment on videos, and that's why it's important to interact with my mailbox series as well, because they do listen to what we say, and I try and use my platform to help other people's voices be heard. But a question which was asked during this call was, are there any plans to further nerf shields, and like what's the current, standing with shields in Rainbow Six Siege? And the main response was, at the current point in time, they are happy with the position which shields are in. And I do agree, I think there are enough counters and ways to deal with shields, and I'm not saying they're not oppressive, but they're definitely not OP or unstoppable at this current point in time. But something that was sort of hinted at and teased is that there may be a new way to counteract shields in year 11, which, if you think about it, does somewhat play into their new balance and philosophy that they said they're going to prioritize buffs and fun over nerfs. So I guess instead of directly nerfing shields again, they are going to elaborate on the fun part by introducing a new counter. Now, off the top of my head, there are 3 candidates of what this new counter could be. It's either going to be a new operator, a new secondary gadget for defense, or a brand new environmental ingredient. And whatever one of these this ends up being, I feel like it's going to have something to do with electricity. Now, electricity got a change last season in Operation Daybreak to make it a neutral feature in the game. That means that it affects both attackers and defenders, whereas before that, it was only a defender side of the thing that could be used against attackers. But they wanted to tidy this mechanic up and make it a neutral one, which definitely makes a lot of sense, and this is kind of how it used to be in Rainbow Six Siege, meaning if you're playing as a defender and you throw a nitro cell, for example, onto an electrified wall, it's going to destroy it. But they also sort of balanced electricity as well, so it no longer does damage to anyone in the game. Rather, it just simply slows you down. And of course, this was all together with a remastered version of Clash, which honestly is a lot more balanced than she was before. I think current Clash is in such a better position, and I think that might be one of the best remasters yet. But now that we're in a position where electricity is being treated a little bit differently, it now opens the door for a lot of new features to be released alongside of it. And if you aren't aware, one of the best counters to attacking shields on defense isn't actually Oryx, it's actually Clash. If you zap an attacking shield with electricity, you basically soft lock them in a similar way to meleeing them, where it puts the shield to the side of their body, they can't really react to it, and you're exposing them for your teammates to take an easy shot, or yourself if you have the shield placed. So if we take the concept of electricity and apply it to either a brand new defender or a new secondary gadget for defense, which you could throw, and maybe it would cause like an electricity effect for a small period of time, or if they do go down the route of a new environmental ingredient, they could do like a bit of like an exposed electricity board, or like some exposed wiring that if like you walk over or is like a way to trigger it, it will cause the electricity to go off, and it acts like a bit of a, I guess, a trap similar to COD Zombies. Like if you like activate one of the traps and then it'd be like constant electricity for like 10 seconds or something like that. Like maybe something similar to that with like an environmental ingredient. But I personally would love to see it be a new secondary gadget as opposed to an environmental ingredient or a brand new operator, because I agree, although I think shields are in a somewhat good space, there is a lot of situations where you need to have a dedicated counter and you can be caught off guard. But if we can introduce a new secondary gadget and give it to a bunch of defenders, which would be able to have like a bit of an electricity effect, which would really help counter a shield if they are starting to push them, then not only would that help counter shields across the board, but it would also just be a really interesting, unique gadget, because we don't really have a secondary gadget which you can throw and then cause someone to be a bit stunned and slowed down. Like it'd be a mix of, I guess, barbed wire and an impact nade, but of course it wouldn't be able to explode and it wouldn't do any damage, and of course you wouldn't have it placed like barbed wire to watch your flank, so it would still warrant its existence. Now, don't get me wrong, this could just act completely different. It may not even have electricity, and it by all means could be a brand new operator. And I guess I did say there was like 3 major pillars where it could be like, I don't know, an operator, ingredient, or gadget, but I guess it also could be a brand new weapon as well. We can't really rule that one out. But like I was saying a second ago, at least me personally, I think I'd rather it be a secondary gadget, just because you're now opening the door for so many operators to become a counter to shields. Because I just think if you do give people more utility to counteract shields, then yeah, they are in a good position in the game. Like I have repeated in this video, I think they are in a good position, but I can understand why you'd feel oppressed at times and like how you'd kind of be overpowered by a shield. But I wonder if they will go down another route. I mean, I don't think we're going to get like an insanely new mechanic to counter them. Like obviously electricity already exists. We could do something like an air jab on defense. Like we only have really seen the air jab effect in 1 operator, I guess 2 at most, because it started off actually from the Outbreak event when you would get dashed by the big guy. That would knock you on your back. That was a completely new effect. Then like a year later we got Nomad, which utilized the air jab to knock you back. And then I guess you've got Oryx Dash and the shield bashes as well to knock you on your back. But nothing in the scope of like a pocket air jab. So if you as a defender could have like maybe I don't know, like a secondary gadget which acts similar to an air jab, but I guess it has some build up as well, similar to like a thorn gadget. So you know, you're not doing like an instant like hit and then swing, because that'd be way too OP. Again, if we go down the route of like an environmental ingredient, one that I proposed when they were first announced would be similar to a gas pipe, but it'd be more of a pressure pipe, and if it would explode, it would knock you on your back, again similar to an air jab. Now the concept image I made of this just was a gas pipe changed different color, but if it was going to be like a pressure pipe, it would probably be a bit smaller, and you could like, I guess, fit it into floors and stuff like that. So it would allow for like different areas and different strats that you could utilize it. And again, that would be a massive counter to shields. But regardless of what they end up doing, I personally do like that there are more shield counters coming to the game. I do like this new mindset of like the whole balancing philosophy. If you weren't aware of that, by the way, yeah, Ubisoft did say they're now going to prioritize buffing over nerfing. The first thing they're doing with the very next patch we are getting is that Denari's most recent nerf, where they added a 1-second delay to his trip connectors coming back online, that has been reverted. The Glaive 12 pocket shotgun is also going to be getting a buff, and as well as this, Solace is finally going to be getting her impact grenades back after, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been years at this point, I think, which is like one of the most important tools that she could have. Like, in my opinion, them removing impact grenades from Solace is like the equivalent of removing like a nitro cell from Pulse or Valkyrie. Like, it was a secondary gadget which fully complemented the primary gadget, and the operator felt like a shell of their former selves without it. So yeah, like them giving impact needs back to Solace, then prioritizing buffing over nerfing going forward. And like, listen, like they're still gonna nerf if they have to, which is fair. You have to have balancing in this game. Like, you can't not do that. But like, instead of directly nerfing shields because you may find them frustrating, well, instead we'll introduce another way to counter them. I think that's a very good mindset, both from a fun perspective, but also just from a content perspective as well, because now we're going to be getting more content rather than just nerfing existing content. Does this mean that we're going to get the 1.5 and ACOG back on defense? No, that was a warranted nerf. They weren't doing that to be boring. That was necessary, and I will fully stand by that decision. That was something that should have happened a very long time ago. But yeah, what do you think the brand new counter to shields in Rainbow Six Siege is going to be in year 11? I'm very excited to see what this is. I've thrown out a few of my own ideas, but they may go a completely different route. And I do hope it is a secondary gadget, because we've not had secondary gadget in a while, and I think that'd be really fun in the game. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Sub if you're new. Catch you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. See ya.